Hello, it's Sula here from MistyHilltops.com. Thanks for stopping by. In this video, I'm working on a traveler's notebook layout titled Not Tomatoes. I'll be scrapping this photo, and I'm using the digital kit Garden Notes by Jessica Dunn. This kit is available as a freebie on digitalscrapbook.com, which has a ton of digital products that are mostly free. So I just recommend you check it out if you haven't heard of this yet. And this is a lovely kit. It's all about garden. And to be honest, I only after I finished the page did I realize that on the photo it might not actually be tomatoes. They look like tomatoes. They could be tomatoes, but I think they're pumpkins. And so in the making, obviously, still growing, still small, and so I will easily be able to add something like not quite pumpkin, not quite tomatoes, or like tomatoes, something like that. So anyway, when I printed off this page, I realized, oh, it's slightly shorter for some reason. I can't remember quite exactly what happened here, but I'm guessing that I was working with a different format. This is one of the earliest pages I set up way back in the winter. It's late August now, and I might have just tried using a different format or page size, and now I'm working just with 8 1/4 by 8 1/2 or 4 1/4 pages. And so I just rectified the issue by just putting some washi tape on top and on the bottom, and then I just glued down those papers, and now I'm starting with the left side and adding a little label and then a few embellishments there. These flowers, so all the embellishments are pretty much print and cut with my silhouette, print on cardstock, and then the papers are printed on not quite cardstock. It is paper that's thicker than normal copy paper, but it's not quite cardstock. And so, but the embellishments are all done on real full-on thick cardstock. And then I have the silhouette cut it out. So I rough it up the edges of pretty much all my papers because it just gives the page a lot more dimension. And so I have done that with almost all the papers already. It was too much repetition to do it on screen all the time and have you watch me do it. So I just do it with a few leftover pieces that I realize I haven't done that yet. So here I'm starting. I usually arrange everything so that I know where it goes on the page and how it fits on the page, and then I start gluing things down from there. And so there's still a little more to go with that little cluster that I started with on the left side, but first I'm just doing this bigger photo cluster there. And so I'm arranging all the papers, and that's what I love about scrapbooking and all that, is just the papers, and I want those papers to show and shine. And so I'm making sure I have the papers laid out well. This is actually I created this page in my silhouette, but I'm not sure if it's based on another template or not, so I decided I'm not going to make it available as a freebie, which most of my pages are based on just sketches that I then create in my silhouette and then make them available as freebies on my blog, MistyHilltops.com. So if you haven't checked out MistyHilltops.com, I recommend you do check out the freebie section there. So anyway, here I'm adding, these are all pieces from that collection, Garden Notes by Jessica Dunn. And these, for example, these papers are just papers that have ripped edges, and I just ripped the edges in real life, so just to add to the beauty of those papers. And that's the beauty if you are not just doing digital scrapbooking, but turning the digital stuff into real paper scrapbooking there. And so there is the other flower, and I'm still deciding how to put the leaves, and the leaves are just, again, they're print from the collection, but then I shape them. I just run one of my tools over those flowers, and so I shape everything. And originally I wanted to tuck this little circle there underneath one of the papers, but then the papers were already glued down, and I'm much happier where it is right now, because half of that, if it had been tucked underneath someplace, it would have just gotten lost, and there was still something missing on that label, and it just fills out that label beautifully and gets its full recognition. And so some of, like, especially the circles, instead of having my silhouette cut it out, I like to run them through one of my circle die cuts, so that they have the faux stitching around, and I really like that. So some of the shapes and sometimes the papers, I will have one of my die cuts actually do the cutting rather than silhouette, because silhouette just doesn't get that pretty shape. And then here I begin with the end of the word to see if it actually fits across the page. And so it's good to, it doesn't matter with this one, obviously, because it fills out, the title fills out the entire page, but sometimes I start a title in the middle, sometimes I start a title on the right side or on the left side, depends on where it is being arranged and where it goes. This is also a die cut alpha that I have, and I just cut a strip of single, when I printed my page, I still had a little strip left at the bottom or somewhere on the edge of the page, and I decided to just print out as just solid color there that was the same color with the rest that runs in the kit, in the collection. And so that was perfect for then using it as a die for the die cuts for the alpha. So it's the perfect, it hits the colors perfectly. I do have some cardstock at home, but the colors are never exactly what I need for my projects, and I don't like when it's off in some ways. And so I'm much happier that I started to just print some solid colored strips of paper, just so that I can use them with my die cuts. So here I am still adding some more word strips. Those word strips are available as freebies, both in German and in English. So if you're looking for something more to put on your projects, they are small, I have to say, because for me, I want to use them on my traveler's page, notebook pages, and so I don't want huge word strips that take half the page. So these are small, and there's a whole bunch of them. So if you check out missyhelltops.com, you can find a whole lot of freebies there already available. So this finishes my page, and I will leave you with some close-ups. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, consider giving it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and I hope you have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye.